We are grading Portsmouth transfer window. How did they do? What did this team think? Give it a score out of 10. Welcome to where Pompey walk. Welcome back to where Pompey walk. We've got Sam, Sasha, Sam, and Jack with us to review that Sunderland game, and also now the transfer window has shut. Just what grading are they going to give Portsmouth's transfer dealings? Welcome back. Also on the channel this week, we're asking you for your horror away day stories as Sunderland travel to Plymouth in the next game, the longest journey done by any club. We're going to ask each of these Portsmouth fans for their own individual recollection of an away day gone bad for different reasons, and I'll share with you my story, which actually my own away day is actually at Fratton Park. That's one of the worst experiences I've had. More on that at the end, though. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? Sam M, we'll start with you this week. Sunderland, have you seen a team there that's possibly going to be going up?
I think there's definitely potential, especially with the amount of young talent they've got. They do look really good, and obviously had the perfect start. So yeah, I don't see why not.
Run me through what your evaluation of the Pompey performance was.
It was pretty poor, I think. Obviously it was coming. We've been on the back foot for most of our games, but yeah, not great.
Sasha, you were there. Out of the games you've seen so far, including Cup, even that Millwall game, was that the worst you've seen you?
Yeah, we just really weren't up for it yesterday. I feel like the other games we had a bit of fight, desire. We could have gone and picked up 3 points, but yesterday we didn't look close.
Jack, welcome to the channel. Your first time here. Which players stood out for you in terms of their individual performance? Were there any you were pleased with?
For Pompey, I think the only player anyone could be really pleased with was Abdoulaye Kamara, who came on for his debut with about half an hour to go. Well, other than that, it was such a poor team performance, but you kind of understand it because we've got so much injuries at the back, and I think after the international break, it's come at such a good time for us. We can integrate in from there.
Cheers, Jack. Sam, there were Pompey fans saying, look, our season starts after the international break. Just right off this. I mean, in terms of your points total, would you still call this a decent return given the teams you played or not?
I mean, if you had offered us 3 draws at the start of the season with the teams that we were playing against, I mean, all of those teams I would say are promotion contenders. I think we would have taken it. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the points that we have, but now, like you said, we have to start winning some games. Otherwise, we're going to get into some serious trouble.
Sam, staying with you, would you have rather have had 1 win and 3 losses?
No, not really. I think for the team confidence, I think it was fine to know that we can compete in the league with the teams that we've played against. There were opportunities for us to win the game. I'm thinking Leeds, first game of the season, where we could have maybe hung on. And then the week before that, where we played Middlesbrough, again, we could have maybe hung on. But no, I think for confidence, knowing that we can compete in the league with the 3 draws, I think would have been fine.
Okay, we're going to review the transfer window in a second, but we've got to look at social media takes on the game. I think they've pretty much summed up everything that all of you have said. Here is Rate My Take. It's not good reading this week, I'm afraid. Sam M. Alex says it was genuinely honking. The midfield was invisible. Defence was shocking. Goalie was pointless. The Windows are doing F-all to help the striker. Silvera has to try and go outside his man. On the inside is so predictable every single time. If he wants that, then he's going to have to get stronger. What's your take on all of that, Sam?
I think it's a bit extreme. I mean, we haven't been like this all season. Yeah, it's our first loss of the season after that tough start that we had. I don't think you can get too down. As much as it wasn't a good performance, I don't think there's reason to be too negative at the minute.
Very sensible reply. Jordan does say we move one of the title favourites right there. Ray, that's the last I see of Williams at centre back. Sasha, do you echo his sentiments?
Yeah, Williams is a brilliant right back, not a brilliant centre back. I think we should really stay away from playing him in the middle, but we've got a new centre back now, so hopefully that is the last we see of Williams at centre back.
And Jack, Lenny says, we cannot play that defence again. If Connor and Poole are out in future, give Bauer to start with Ogilvy as centre-backs. Williams right back, Richie can easily do a job at left back. Can't be any worse than today. Also, Dozal needs to be dropped for Kamara. There's a lack of threat from the wings, worrying too. What to take in there, but how do you respond to that, Jack?
I'd probably agree. We don't want to see that defence again, but like he said, we got Boa in, but that was about 12 hours before kickoff, so it made sense not to throw him in the deep end. Shockness is due back, hopefully after the international break. Poole and McIntyre down the line as well, so hopefully he won't have to come to playing a fullback at centre half. And then other than that, Didel looked a bit off the pace yesterday. I would agree with that, but again, we got Freddie Potts, we got Abdoulaye Kamara, we have options coming through, so there's going to be a big competition that's going to drive up the standard, I think.
Every week we've spoken, you guys are brilliant, and you're very optimistic, and I love you for it. But when is your first win coming? Sam, I'm going to put the next set of fixtures up now. And I want you to genuinely tell me where your first win is coming. We've got 5 games now to the next international break. West Brom at home, Burnley away, Sheffield United at home, Stoke away, and then Oxford at home before the next international break. We say your season starts now, but genuinely, Sam, where is your first win coming from with that 5?
Well, tough run of fixtures again. Burnley's at home, you'd say?
Burnley's away, isn't it? I think.
Burnley's away. I'm going to go West Brom. We're going to get it together over the international break. We're going to get it sorted, and we're going to get a win with against West Brom at home.
Sasha, it's not conceivable, though, is it, that actually we could be here in 5 games' time still looking at Pompey on 4 or 5 points, still looking for their first win.
Yeah, it's possible, but one thing we learned about last season is when we did lose, which wasn't often, we bounced back, and we bounced back quick. So I agree. I think West Brom, we could go, even if it is a positive point, I think we can bring something home.
All right. Sam, would you echo that the West Brom game on there is your best chance of picking the points?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll see a squad that we know rather than that defence, which we clearly know isn't our best. We've obviously Shocknessy back, and players like Josh Murphy and Jacob Farrell coming back into it. So I think we've got a really good chance to hit the ground running there.
Okay. All right. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you. We hate to see you do best. This is as low as we've been, but nice to see you taking it all in your stride. Let's have a look then at the spendings and the outgoings of Pompey financially, shall we, with this transfer window. Jack, have you been surprised at how little money you've spent?
Surprised with the money we spent. I kind of see the plan to only spend money on players we can develop and have a resell on. So we've kind of spent smartly, but I think we used the free market really well. And like Josh Murphy, although it's a free agent signing, that's a pretty significant investment from the owners to give him a 3-year deal. And I think the idea was right to just build sustainably and make sure if we do head back down to League One, we're not sitting there with huge championship wages on our books.
Let's have a look at the overall expenditure then of all 24 sides. So Burnley has spent the most with 48, just short of 49 million euros. And there you guys are sitting at the bottom, having just spent just over nearly a 50th of that fraction. Team that you played a fortnight. 19 departures, 18 arrivals. We'll have a look at some of them in a minute. But Sam, does that not worry you? I know you've got to balance the books a little bit, but you are not spent to survive here.
Yeah, I see why there could be some fans being like, oh, we want to spend more and all that stuff. But I think the players we've got in is actually a good caliber of players. And even though, like Jack said, there some of them are free agents, I think they have got good talent. So I think we shouldn't be too stressed about it so far.
Oh. Okay, Sasha, talk us through then the arrivals then. Schmidt hasn't yet started. He's from my understanding anyway, he's on the bench again, wasn't he, against for Sunderland. Does he now start against West Brom?
It's tough to say. I do think Norris was poor against Sunderland. I really do. I'm one of Norris's biggest fans, so I'd back him to the end. But yesterday he wasn't at it. I don't think he'll be dropped immediately. I think he'll be given a chance to bounce back. But yeah, I could see that it being just a matter of time before we do swap our number one keeper.
And then how do you rate your other two players that you spent money on, Sorensen and Blair?
From what I've seen of them two, I thought Blair was brilliant when he came on yesterday. I thought he showed positive signs. I think it was an easier game for him to come into, less pressure than it was against Borough when we were trying to grab 3 points. He was just able to play his game. I thought he was quite good. And Sorensen, again, he's not featured too much in the league for us. He didn't come on yesterday, but from what I've seen, I think he's a good player.
Okay. And then Sam, of the free transfers, who stood out for you so far? I mean, I think Matt Ritchie was the one that I don't think anybody in this room predicted was going to happen for sure. But who there for you stood out so far?
Yeah, Richie, like you said, was great, but I think Jordan Williams, his best game was that first game against Leeds when he played right back there. He was holding up, and he was decent. But ever since we've moved him to centre back, he just hasn't performed. The rest we haven't really seen. Like we haven't seen Josh Murphy and Jordan Archer as a backup. Dozel has been on and off. But yeah, I would have to go Williams is probably our best out of the three there.
Also, part of a transfer window, as you all know, is the people going as well and getting people off the wage books. Sam M, back to you with this one. Are there any on there that you were sad not to keep hold of that you would have thought could have done a job in the Championship? There's lots of free transfers going out. So
yeah, I think
there's other questions.
obviously Rafferty and Brackett was the sad one to see them both go Pompey cult heroes. But yeah, I think I would have liked to see Sean Raggett have a go in the Championship, and I think Joe Rafferty, he probably could have done the job, but I'm not like heartbroken at that guy. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Jack, the other thing that people have noticed is that in terms of fees coming in for players, there haven't been any, or any significant ones that we know about. If Pompey are having the model of developing players and moving them on for higher fees, when's that going to start?
We'll see some of that movement next summer because a lot of these guys only came in last summer. Last summer we had a lot of guys coming in and out, but you want to try keep the core of your team together to survive the Championship, and then I'll imagine we'll see how they go in the Championship. And if somebody, say like a Paddy Lane or someone, pops off and has a good season, that's where you're going to see the return on investment. Okay,
all right then. So the big question for all of you, as we asked you, was to grade the transfer window, given that we've gone through the financial and the football element of it. So from 1 to 10, all of you probably fans to put your grading in the comments here. Sasha, start us off.
I'll give us an 8.
Sam?
7.5.
Sam M?
I'll go 7.
And Jack?
It's very early days. It's hard to know.
No fence sitting here, Jack. We want a number. So I didn't catch that. 7. I think we've got 7 from 7. Okay. All right then, Devil's Advocate. Sam M, why is it not higher than 7 for you?
I think, don't get me wrong, we've made some decent signings, but you look at teams like Oxford, I think they've had a really, really good window. And also Derby, who have obviously both come up with us. So I think it could have been better. So yeah, I wouldn't grade it higher than a 7 for me.
Fair enough then. Let's look ahead then to the next game, West Brom. They've started well though, Sasha, haven't they? This is another tricky fixture. They're not being kind to you. What needs to change then? Obviously, the back line you've already spoke about. What about an attack? Do we need to make changes here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when our wingers are back from injury. I wouldn't mind seeing Blair start. I don't think Richie was that impressive yesterday. I think he was quite off it, so I wouldn't mind seeing another winger replace him. I do absolutely think that Dizelle should be replaced by Kamara starting against West Brom. Absolutely do. He was brilliant when he came on yesterday. Other than that, not entirely sure.
Sam, anything to add to that?
Yeah, we need to get Yengi going, and we need to get him healthy. Sadie is not the player to play up front by himself. He's more of a supporting attacker instead of a striker up there by himself. So I think Yengi needs to start and he needs to get going. Just the previous point on the transfer window there, I think we missed out on a striker. I think we needed a striker to help. Obviously, with the loss of Bishop, Yengi being injured at the start, and then Sadie pretty much playing there, and then Saracen coming to the league. We needed a striker, and I think we need to get Yengi healthy and get him playing because he is our only outlet right now, I do believe.
Does it bother you? This is a question to all of you. Does it bother you when you see Birmingham, who are in League One, bidding £10 million for a striker from Fulham, and here you are, well, essentially, I'm sorry to say it, with scraps of free transfers and spending little bits of money there? Does it all kind of raise questions in your head going, why not us? Why can't we do that?
I think as a club, with what we've been through, I think that's not our model anymore. Like, we used to be that club where we used to throw money around. And I think maybe the owners are a little bit tentative as well with throwing that type of money. I was shocked when I saw that. I was like £10 million for a League One player was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't think that's just our model anymore. And I think the fans have accepted that as well.
Is that fair, Sasha, that the fans generally, would you say general fans are happy with the window, that you haven't spent this much money? Or come December, if you are fighting a relegation battle, will we start to hear, well, we should have spent more in August?
It's hard to say because, you can bring in a brilliant player that's a free agent and you could spend 10 million on a player that ends up being terrible for you. It's hard to say. We've spent beyond our means before and we ended up in League Two and nearly out of the Football League. So our owners are aware of that. We're aware of that. And we don't want to be throwing money around in our first season.
All right. I'm not budging you on this earlier. I'm trying to push some buttons here and I'm not getting anything back. So I will quit while I'm ahead. All right. Our final question that we're going to explore this week is worst away days. We're doing this because, of course, Pompey got some big travels coming up in the next couple of months. So what is the worst away day experience that you have had? Sam M, can you recall one? Doesn't have to be recent. It could be many years ago.
One does stand out. It was a good couple of years ago. I think it was 2016-17, the year we went up. It was Yeovil away. I don't know if anyone else went here, and it was literally like the foggiest game, and you couldn't literally see past the halfway line. It was a 0-0. Yeah, waste of time.
Just you had me at the words Yeovil away. Jack, can you recall any?
Yeah, I haven't actually got to a Portsmouth away game yet, as I'm from Ireland, so I'd only get over to Fratton. But I am planning on going to the Liberty in November, and I'll let you know how that goes.
Right. Sasha?
I've not had any horror stories myself, but my dad had one way back when, where I think it was Cambridge United away, and he and his mate went to this pub, sat down, wondering why there was no one around. Kickoff had gone, and there was still nobody around, and ended up that he was at Cambridge City rather than Cambridge United, and missed about 20 minutes of the game. So,
Brilliant. Sam, you're far away from us, isn't it? But you used to go to Pompey when you were younger.
Yeah. When I was younger, we went to Coventry away, and there was a bit of a bust up in a pub before then, and that kind of transferred over to the game, and it literally came to like Coventry fans ripping seats out of the stand and throwing them at us, and all that was dividing away fans and home fans was this thin bit of rope and one steward. So yeah, that was interesting, and for a young lad, it was an experience. Yeah.
Well, mine happened at Fratton Park as an Everton fan. Goodness knows, must have been 2004-05. It was a 12:45 kickoff. So I set off at 3 a.m. Ridiculous, drove down to the ground. Awful game. I think your stand at that time didn't have any roof on it. It leathered it down for the away fans the whole game. We lost 1-0 with Matty Taylor. He scored from the halfway line. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was Matty Taylor from the halfway line, which was just ridiculous. We were awful. Broke down on the way home. Lost my wallet. It was the worst. I've never been back to Fratton Park since. So I do not have fun memories of it. Although to be fair, Portsmouth fans were very good. As you always have been whenever you've been so yeah, share your memories of Portsmouth away. I'm sure lots of you have got lots of things that gone on. You've had a few batterings as well. I'm sure people will recall. Is there any big scorelines anybody remembers being on the end of?
I think I actually live in Plymouth, but I've got a season ticket at Fratton. So like the Argyle one's always close for me. So all my mates obviously are Argyle fans. That's never a nice one. And it was when we were like just in that liquidation period. I think we lost 3-0. Like, I was quite young at the time, but that was not a good experience.
I seem to remember every game with Reading that you've always has goals in it. It was like something 7-4 the record, doesn't it? And then after the battle at Reading as well, 4-0 or something like that.
I remember when we played the Scummers, and the away fans were getting quite mad at us, and they were on the train, and they were getting quite mad at us. And what we didn't realize is that someone was banging on the window, and he had 4-1 written on his hands, and he was banging on the window. So that was quite funny.
We'll get on to that at another point. Right, thank you very much. Enjoy the international break. One final question: club or country for you, Sasha? Would you rather see Portsmouth go up to the Premier League or England win the World Cup?
Pompey Premier League club always.
As an Irishman, Jack, I won't ask you the same question because that'll be more obvious. But Sam,
Pompey in the Premier League, yeah.
Okay. And Sam,
yeah, it's Pompey. It's not even close.
Not even close.
Nah.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Do give us a like and do subscribe as well. We know there's lots of Pompey content to watch out there, but we really enjoy bringing you all our weekly chats and reviews. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more heated as the weeks go on. But thank you all for your company. It's always enjoyable as always, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the rest.